Hi everybody, this is Harmony with Harmony Stitches and welcome to my channel. Here we talk about my crafting journey. That's usually cross stitch but with knitting and crochet thrown in every once in a while. Thank you everyone who has taken time out of their day to come and watch my videos. Whether this is the first time or you've been here multiple times, I really do appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me every week. Last week I didn't make a video because I really didn't have anything to show, but we'll go over all of that along with what I worked on this past week as well. As I mentioned in the last video 2 weeks ago, I am participating in Summer Sock Camp. I picked out a couple of yarns here and I got started on May 28th. That's when Summer Sock Camp with the Crazy Sock Lady kicked off. And I started with bamboo prints from Maxim. This is 60% superwash wool and 15% neon and 25% bamboo. It does feel a little bit scratchier, but I'm wondering if once it gets washed, it won't be as scratchy. It'll like soften up a little bit. So as you can see, I do not have any yarn coming out of the skein because I finished my socks. So sock 1 and sock 2. If you notice, I made a mistake. This pair of socks has several mistakes. I put the cable on the same side of the sock on both of them. So one will be in the inside and one will be on the outside. So silly. On each one, I did mess up the cable. On this one, I messed up the cable here. On this one, I messed up the cable somewhere in this area. I really thought I was paying attention, but I guess I must not have been, but that's okay. This one actually doesn't look that bad, actually. I wonder if I didn't actually mess up. Oh yeah, I did. It's right here. I put the same cable going in the same direction twice instead of once and then switching back. But anyway, and then I Kitchener, I did do the process correctly, but it's not straight across the toe. It's a little bit off center. So I did the second one the same way too. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't line my stitches up correctly on my 2 needles, but it is what it is. Friend at work suggested that maybe I make a second sock for each one of these with the leftover yarn. So I did get out my scale and the pair of socks is 57 grams. Or 53 grams. I have 47 left. So I have 6 grams shy of being able to make a whole second set, so that way I can have 2 pairs of socks. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but we'll worry about that later when the time comes. So, oh, this colorway is Tidal Pool, and I used 2 size US 2 needles and a 9-inch circular. I have found that that's actually my favorite because it seems like I go a lot faster on that needle. So I did do a little bit of cross stitch. I worked on this in the evenings, back to my stitching with the Housewives Tree Farm series, and I got a decent amount done. Here, let me put this book behind it so you can see better. I did get a decent amount done on this. I can't remember what this one is called. Balsam fur, I think. Balsam. And I finished the truck. I started putting in this tree with the snow, and I did a little bit more on the snowman. Oh, I did get the tree in the back of the truck too. So I am over 50% done on this one. I am stitching out on 28 count black Monaco with the DMC conversion that's listed on the chart. I don't have the right brown. I grabbed the wrong one when I was at the store, but I'll get it later. So this is number 2 of the 4 that I'm working on, and I will continue working on these until they're finished. But I kind of feel like a new start down the road is in my future, but I will show you that coming up. So after I got pair number 1 done, I do have a goal of stitching 4 pairs. My yarn is tangled here. Just a second. 4 pairs of socks during Summer Sock Camp. I have a big knot. I'm finding that my yarn winder is very poor quality, and the way that it messes up a lot. So then when I'm pulling the yarn out of the center for a center pull ball of yarn, it tangles a lot. So this is the yarn. I think I have the tag here. This is the one by Supernova Dye Works, which I think they changed their name. They're out of Lansing, Michigan. I think it's Lemonade something, but I'm not sure. This is the Desmos sock base, and it's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. And this is the Laurel colorway. So it's really pretty purples and greens. And the first sock, I think I forgot to mention, the pattern is called Do You French. I do have the details in my Ravelry page, because that's how you enter. You have to create a Ravelry page for it to enter into the drawings for the summer sock camp. So if you go to my Ravelry and you just search my name on Ravelry, Harmony Terry, then you will find my project pages in my profile. So that one was called Do You French. This one is the Hermione's Everyday Sock. So I've gotten this much done so far. I make a lot shorter of a leg than a lot of people. A lot of sock patterns will call for 6 inches. And I don't know what that equates to rows, but because I don't measure, I do 40 rows after the ribbing until I start the heel flap. So this is 10 pattern repeats, and it's just a simple stitch just to give it a little bit of texture. And I thought that that would be good with this yarn because the yarn is kind of busy. So like a lace pattern wouldn't look good because the lace would get lost. But I figured just a simple texture would be perfect for this. So I am about halfway or more down the foot, and then I get to work on the toe. I have really small feet. I wear size 5 in women's, and that's at a maximum. Sometimes I can pick up a size 6 in tennis shoes, but usually I'm buying size 3 in kids. So I have a really small foot, and that's why I had so much left over in the first ball of yarn. A lot of people would barely be able to get that one ball of yarn to do a whole pair of socks because they do the full 6-inch leg, and then their foot is a lot bigger. But I get to have leftovers. Some people don't like leftovers, so I do like the colors. There's some grays and blacks in there too, just kind of mixed in how the dye went. So I am doing the pattern, if you can see, on the instep, and then this is the sole. That's how the pattern is. Now, I will say this is the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern is free, but I will warn you that I do believe, in my opinion, that there's a couple of missteps in there. I do believe that the heel turn is incorrect. I did a couple rows of it, and I'm like, this just isn't, it's not right. So I took it out, and then I used the heel flat pattern from the Do You French sock. Because the stitch counts on my socks are the same. They're 56 stitches. And then the designer stitched this one on 2 circulars. And in one point, it's not, when you're going to do the heel flap, it's not really clear on what she's doing. And it was really confusing because I'm not doing it on 2 circulars. I'm doing it on 1 circular. This one, I'm also using the size 2. So I was really disappointed with that. But sometimes you just find that when they're free patterns, because they probably don't pay a tech editor or have it out for testing. I know a lot of people have knit that sock pattern, but I've never necessarily heard anything that, about there being mistakes in the pattern. But I do believe that the heel flap or the heel turn itself has an error in it. But like I said, I was just able to use the heel turn from a different pattern to be able to get it to work. You just have to be a little bit creative and keep calm and problem solve. So I'm really excited about these ones. This sock I wound the yarn on Thursday night and started it while we were watching TV. This even though there's a small texture pattern to the sock, it really does go quite quickly. The only thing that can make it quicker if it was just a plain vanilla sock. One thing that I will also say is that, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with this, it's just me and what I prefer. It's a knit one purl one rib, and then it goes the one plain round, and then it goes into the texture, and there's not a lot of differentiation between the ribbing and the sock, and I just thought that was kind of odd. Here you can clearly tell where the ribbing ends and the sock starts, but like I said, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. It's just to my liking. I would like to see a greater difference between the ribbing and the foot of the leg of the sock, and I probably would have been able to get that if I had tried two different ribbings. Knit one purl one where the knit stitches are twisted, or a 2x2, knit 2 purl 2. But like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a preference. I did make one little tiny mistake in this, and it was in my gusset decreases. I did the wrong decrease one time, which it didn't really matter. It still did a decrease, but I did it on the, on one side you do an SSK, and then on the other side you do a knit 2 together, and I just swapped it on that one by mistake because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. But other than that, I feel that this is going at great speed because my goal was to knit one pair every 2 weeks, and I should be able to have this pair done by the end of this week, hopefully, and then that will shave a week off. And I say hopefully because the fair packet for the Saginaw County Fair came out, and I think that you have to have your items turned in by July 15th. So in order to enter anything into the fair, I need my pieces done, and I need my entries over to the fairgrounds by the 15th of July. I think if I can get through this pair of socks without making any more mistakes, I think one decrease is no big deal. If I can get through this sock and the next sock and have this set complete, or this pair complete, then I will enter this one into the accessories, the knit accessories, and then I will try to find a cross stitch that I have done to enter into the cross stitch. There's like 5 different classes in the counted cross stitch. I don't know if I have enough done already that could fit into those different categories. Like one's a nature and one's a religion. And I know I have his name is Jesus, but it's not framed yet, and I don't know how to frame properly, and it has to be able to be hung up. So I don't know if I have enough time, maybe not. I don't know. I could always keep it for next year because I know that Nell from Little Yellow House Crafts said that her fair had a stipulation that you had to have completed it within the last 2 years. And I don't think that my fair has that stipulation. So even if I saved that one for next year, then I could just put it in next year's. And I know that I could probably get it framed between now and then. But anyways, that was a lot of talk about the fair. If you live in Saginaw County, join with me in entering your things into the fair. You can find the fair packet by going to Saginaw County Fair. I don't know if it's .net or .org. But if you just do a quick Google search, you can find it. It does take a while for the website to load. Hit the menu and then hit the I don't know what the menu item is because I think they changed it from last year, but then you'll find the fair guide, and it lists everything from the animals to the food that, like the canning and everything, and to the crafts. So check it out. Let's do this together. Let's be brave and enter something into the fair. I know I'm going to have at least one entry. I just don't know exactly what it is yet. Okay, so I did not work on Lady of the Flag yet. That's 2 weekends now that I have not put any stitches in, so I'm kind of concerned that with all of these graduation parties that I am not going to be able to get my challenge completed for the Travel the USA challenge and the Michigan cross stitch group. But it's okay. That happens. My daughter is not in any hurry for it, so I'm not in any hurry to pay for framing, so that'll be okay. But the other day I had this thought about, you know, your local library is a great resource. The Crafty Cataloger here on YouTube actually posted a video for Michiganders on how to use the online resources to get some free charts. But also free other things too, free, you know, resources, just like you can get in your physical library. So I went on the website for my local library on a hunt for this particular book to see if they had it. And they did have it, but several other libraries in Michigan had it, the ones that participate in the library share. And I don't know exactly what it's called here in our area. But this one came directly from my library because they actually had it. I sent my daughter up there to get it for me. And she actually is working there again. Last summer, she got a job at our local library. And she had to take a break because school was getting too intense. And then we didn't think that they were going to have a spot for her. But then she went back up there a couple days later. And sure enough, someone had left the library to move on to other things. And it opened up a spot. So she's back to work. And I'm super excited because half of her earnings goes into her college fund. And I'm super excited that she is helping to pay for her own higher education. So anyways, I know that was a rabbit trail, but so the book is Cross Stitch for the Soul, 20 Designs to Aspire by Emma Congdon. And Emma Congdon's designs are bright and fun, and they're inspirational. But I found this one, all of them are good. There's 20 of them in here, and they're all good. And I will show you, they do show them in the front. I don't think this book has ever been opened until I got it, but they do show them in the front, all of the designs. And I don't know, I can't see the camera, so I don't know if this is a good view for you, but there's all different ones in here. What page is that on? Design 20, page 102. I saw this one, and then this is more up close. And it reminds me of one of my new co-workers. She has a little thing on her desk that says everything is figure-outable. And I thought that was a cute use of words. Don't know if figure-outable is an actual word, but you know what it means. So I thought that this one, it always seems impossible until it is done. And that's a quote from Nelson Mandela. And I thought that kind of went along with the thing on her desk. So I thought this would be kind of neat to stitch up for her and give it to her as a gift sometime later on. And I kind of do that. This is kind of bigger than I've ever given as a gift to a co-worker, but I just kind of, when I saw, I kind of felt the need to do that. This one is stitched on navy, 14 count Aida, or you could use 20 count linen. You know, I like 20 count even weave, or 28 count even weave. I was at the cross stitch store yesterday, and I just did a quick glance, and I didn't see any 28 count even weave in navy, but I'm sure that they have some somewhere. And then it only uses a couple of, some colors of DMC, and you only need one skein of each. Let's see how many colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I actually have several of them that are listed on there. So I think I might make that for her, and it's 98 by 128. So check your local library for this, or you could get it on Amazon or where books are sold. You could ask your local needle workshop to order one for you, I think. It says it's $24.99, so it's pretty pricey, but you do get 20 designs. So if you divide that out and you make all 20 designs, you're getting them for relatively cheap, and then you can either keep the book or you could pass it along to a friend. So consider that if you have to use your local library. I will keep this for a while just to study them, and then I am going to put it on my wish list because you really only get things from your library for a 2 to 3 week period, and then you're supposed to take it back. I could probably stitch it in 2 to 3 weeks, but I wouldn't be able to stitch anything else. So I do not have any purchases this week. I don't have anything else to share. That's all I have. I know it was a little bit quicker of a video because I only had the 3 projects, but I think that you'll like to see the result of summer sock camp. But when you're working on a sock, there's not really a lot to show. So I hope that you'll stick with me through the summer. Oh, and I forgot to mention the reason why I might not get I think I alluded to not getting all 4 pairs done by the end of summer sock camp is because a couple of weeks ago I showed you the things from Mother's Day. I think it's called Mother's Day Surprise. Go check out that video. They brought me yarn and a pattern that they bought me for Mother's Day. They gave it to me while we were on vacation because we were on vacation over Mother's Day weekend. And I thought that that hat would be, it was a hat pattern, would be a good entry into the fair as well. And I read over it the other day, and it's a color work pattern, but it's not stranded. It's a slip stitch pattern. So each row you're only working 1 color at a time. And I really do think that I could get that hat done in maybe 2 weeks or so, and I might be able to get it done for the fair. So by getting this pair done a week early, it might give me enough time to work on the hat for a week and then get back to the socks and then still be right on schedule. I'm not really sure, but sorry, I forgot to mention that earlier. Now I don't have anything else to share. I hope that you saw something to inspire you to either pick up a craft that's been languishing in your pile or maybe to try something new. If you've never tried knit socks before, they really aren't that hard. There's videos out there for you to learn how to do each of the sections of sock. And it's not that bad. So I hope that you try something new this week. And until then, I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.